everyone, and welcome once again to Ghost Reviews. Today we are circling back to my clown collection, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. I do have to give you guys a bit of an apology for the sound because I decided to take a bit of a holiday, a bit of a break, so the headphones I packed in were not the kinds that I usually use, and now we have all this weird sounds going on in the background. I do apologize for that, but yeah, there's still a video that I wanted to do, so yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So first off, let's get to some background. Most of you guys might probably look at this guy and think, he looks super familiar. And you know what? You'd be absolutely right, because I drew this specific clown during the Creepy Clown Boy video not too long ago, but also not like last month or something. As I've mentioned in the first clown video, this boy is out for revenge, and since clowns have supposedly killed his father, he is determined to get back at them and to kind of show them who's boss and whatnot. In their universe, the universe this boy is from, you have to go to a type of clown school before you can actually become a full-blown clown. So he takes advantage of this to try and get revenge for his father's sake. Ultimately, it is a bit of a weird story with a bunch of loose ends, and I still haven't really solved it yet, but yeah, he still looks pretty good. The idea is pretty good. Also, for those of you who are interested, I have actually changed quite a few features on this clown from his original concept. Now, I'm not talking about what I did in the previous video, I'm talking about like when I started sketching him out first. Because originally, I wanted to lean into the more, the whole creepy clown vibe and make him like super uncomfortable looking. You know those clowns? If you just Google like clown, scary clown, creepy clown, I mean, my Pinterest boards alone have a bunch of weird of them. So, yeah, I wanted him originally to have like red hair and those cold blue eyes and of course shark teeth because I thought that was kind of a good thing. And a few of my characters you guys might recognize or remember from my fantasy series. We have Turkanashi and I think Raftalia. They have shark teeth, and I also like adding fangs, like with June from also the fantasy series. She had a fang, and I think I also gave the boy from my Merryweather Apartment series, Bart, I also gave him fangs. And that's just a little something. I do have a bit of a problem with teeth. Or not a problem, but kind of an obsession with teeth. And yeah, I do try to vary it sometimes, but yeah. Then while I was actually sketching out the first drawing of him, I decided to just change up a few things. And the first thing to go was the shark teeth, because I think it was in some other picture I just saw like this weird cartoony grin thing, and I was like, yeah, you know what, we're gonna see how that looks. And I ended up liking this more than the shark teeth. So yeah, I think especially it leans into that deranged kind of look that I really was going for him. And then when I started coloring him in, I wanted to give him more of a orangey hair because the red screamed a little bit too much for some reason, and kind of leaning into that poor country boy kind of look. You want more orange than actually red, which looks dyed and not really all that natural. Plus, I think he grew up close to the railways, the railroad. His father worked there, and they didn't really have a lot of money to spend. I should really think about his whole family now that I think of it, but yeah. Oh, and he's also got freckles, by the way, beneath his face paint, since I do believe that if you're out in the sun more, you have worse skin. Not necessarily bad skin, but like tainted, stained. Yeah, freckles is a telltale sign that you've been in the sun too long. So, yeah. Also, he is a bit of a resourceful little bastard, despite growing up in like not the best conditions. He's quick with his words, and he finds it pretty easy to manipulate people who have even just a little bit of an amoral side to them or are a bit morally skewed. So of course, that does mean that I end up loving him. Now we are going to move on to the picture itself. I must say it was incredibly fun to draw this guy again, as I have grown so attached to him along with the rest of the clowns in the series. I wanted to draw something that gives a better idea of what his outfit looks like. So yeah, I didn't just want to give him a full close-up again or do full body outfit. So I kind of went just with the torso shot. I did struggle a lot with the hands, even though it might not look that way. And I honestly think that even in the end, it did turn out looking too big. But in the reference image, the fingers were even longer, the hands were even bigger. So I'm assuming that it actually is just like a foreshortening type of thing. Otherwise, he's some weird clown. Otherwise, I should have maybe enlarged the head and the neck or something. I don't know. The colors used in his outfits, I basically just copied off of the color palette that I had of all my stories together. That is the clown stories, the fantasy, and also the Merryweather apartment. So it is very important to have a color palette wheel or just like a color palette sheet for your characters, not necessarily for like the shading, but definitely like the raw colors to always more or less have the same idea when you're looking at characters. I also tried adding a little bit more pizzazz to like the bells and not just adding that Baymax looking slit thing, because in actuality, bells have different looks from different angles, and I think it also makes it look a bit more lively and a bit more realistic if you add a bit more detail and not just like stick to the easy things. Also, I don't know if this is just me or if other people also have this obsession, but like the face paint, I freaking love it. I'm so glad I gave him like that specific face paint because it kind of just leans into that whole menacing vibe of him and those green shocking eyes that link up with like everything else. The bright green, the bright red, the purple, the orange I'm also very happy with, but I really do wish that I used a different background when I was creating him. I wanted to create a kind of scary one, but I just ended up using one of those free background images off the internet. I'm kind of mad about it now. But anyway, yeah, let's move on to the tips section. So, in this picture, I actually just redrew an old picture of mine, and then I used drawing tips that I got from the anime redraws, and just, you know, applied it. That was basically it. I will say this though, tip number one that I can give you guys is to make use of the color palette. Like I mentioned, I cannot tell you how much shorter this art piece was next to the previous one, despite me having way more layers than last time, and all is just basically because I had a color palette ready to go. I didn't have to think about which colors are complementary, which colors work well, what look the best. I really didn't have to do anything like that, because all I did was color swatch, boom, okay, let's go. Yeah, and that was easy, breezy, and I'm really glad that I decided to do that because I never did that with any of my characters, especially like the previous in my first early days of digital art. I didn't even do it then. I always had to like insert an image from what I drew earlier and just use that. Tip number two that I can give you guys is to, if you are using a set color palette or trying to create one, use the same shades for each character. And this is more of a general rule, but since I have like 3 series at the moment and I had like 4 or 5 or something, but if I use, let's say, baby blue in one character's shirt, then I will use the exact same blue in another character's hair or their eyes. And specifically in my clown series, Isaac, this guy's eyes, the green color, it's the same as the hair color of Clyde, who is another clown that is basically gonna come out the end of the week. You'll see them. And they look pretty good, especially if I would decide to draw like a group picture. They would end up looking very good together. I mean, the same thing I did actually realize when I drew that, like the group picture of the 7 Deadly Sins. There, I could kind of see that they used the same colors, but like in different variations, like more red in the one character, more yellow, more orange. And yeah, you pick up things like that, even though it doesn't always have to be as bright as these clowns are. But yeah, in conclusion, this has been my speed paint video on Isaac, my Jester clown. And he might not be the sexiest, the scariest, or the best looking clown of the bunch, but I do like him. He is my creation after all, and I like to make him I would like to make him a bit of a more prominent reoccurring character, like Toby from my Alley Cat phase. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my social media links in the description box so that you can see the final product or digital artwork just like this one, or check out my merch. Again, thank you so much for having watched this far. Your support really does mean the world to me. So until we see you guys next time, please stay safe and keep practicing.